friends, today, as we all know, is the 158th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, the great monk philosopher, the great wandering monk, the soul and substance of the Indian subcontinent, or I would rather say, he is not only the soul and substance of the Indian subcontinent, but of the entire world. Why is the message of the great Swami so relevant, so important in the modern era? Why do we still recall the opulent optimism portrayed and promulgated by him during his shortest stint as a great reformer and rejuvenator? Taking into account the current misery, the current turmoil, the current turbulence that the world faces, the war, the conflict, the hysteria of mankind. Well, what the Swami said, what the great Narendranath Datta said, that needs to be taken into account. When we go through the works of Vivekananda, when we go through the lectures of Swami Vivekananda, when we go through the words, when we go through the gist of his teachings, we do find that there is only positivity in the entire philosophy of whatever he summed up and delineated, portraying it to mankind for the benefit of entire humanity. As far as Vivekananda is concerned, for me, he is a role model. He is an icon of religiosity which to me is rather modern, rather acceptable from the heart. Swami Vivekananda tells us that bread is important, not religion. And as far as India is concerned, taking into account the unemployment and poverty, religion is not the need of the hour. What we require is still bread. The masses, the populace, the poverty, the prevailing poverty, the slums, the unemployment, the dollar that still sways mankind. They don't require the faith or assertion of religion. What they require is awareness of one's being, awareness of one's rights, awareness of a good living. Education is the need of the hour. Education which brings about edification. Education which can bring about a transformation in the radical outlook of man. Women are coming unto their own. Who are we to think of reforms? Who are we to dictate rules and principles as far as our women folk are concerned? Vivekananda says that just educate them and let them think on their own. That's what is required of mankind, or rather of the male generation. Who are we to dictate norms? As far as the youth of India is concerned, a sense of disgust, a sense of despair does prevail, no doubt, and we do have the young generation losing hope in the promises of futurity. All weakness is death, says Swami Vivekananda. The moment you think you are weak, you are fragile, that is the greatest sin of the world. So that's why we need to wake up India, and conquer the world by your spirituality. Face the brutes, says Vivekananda. See terror in the eye and terror is going to flee. That is something which is really required. We are not weak. Nobody is weak. Each and every individual is born with certain parts. And those parts, they need to be explored and implemented into the work sphere. All work is worship. We need to wake up. We need to indulge in hard work, in perseverance. That is what counts. Merely counting of beads and taking the name of God is hardly going to pay. We need to work for the upliftment of the masses, for the upliftment of mankind. The spiritual temper should be there, but simultaneously hard work, substantial work. That is what is going to be required and probably is going to matter the most. The divisions of caste, creed, all sorts of barriers, no religion can eradicate caste, creed, or the barriers. That is not the need of the hour. As far as Hinduism is concerned, Hinduism is all about tolerance. It's about universal tolerance. That's our own identity and that's an individual identity. And I am proud of my own religion, no doubt. That does count. But religion shouldn't act as a barrier. Says the great Swami that I don't believe in a religion that cannot wipe the tears of a widow and that cannot provide food to a man who is hungry. So that is not what is called religion. Service to mankind, that is the greatest service, and that is the greatest service to the country too. That is what the great Swami Vivekananda tells us. Going through the complete works, going through the teachings, well, one is completely engrossed in the teachings. Something which brings about a radical revamp in our outlook, the way we think and the way we take the things. The benediction, the blessings showered by the Master, the great Sri Ramakrishna Paramahans, the great Master. Those blessings still lead us on the path of progress, on the path of enlightenment. With the blessings of the Master, the great Swami did something which seemed so impossible to the world. I sit here today just trying to sum up the teachings, just trying to delve deep into the core of words which are supposed to be treasured in the heart. So, once again, action is something which we need to bring in. Merely words, wordliness in a world maimed, marred and crippled by suffering won't do any good. We need to wake up. We need to work. We need to work hard. We need to thrive, survive. We need to toil on this soil where we were born. And that's clearly the message of Swami Vivekananda. So, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Arise and awake till you realize the divinity of the soul. Arise and awake till you realize that each soul is potentially divine and the ultimate aim of mankind is realization of the divinity of that soul. And that is what is going to bring about the realization of Almighty, the realization of God. That's Swami Vivekananda. That's the great Narendranath Datta. Thank you.